how's it going? This is Tex, and this is Tex Talks. Hope you're having an awesome Sunday. Today, I just wanted to talk about something that popped up several times during the course of the week, and it was a conversation with both clients and parents about the idea of obedience in their kids. And the subject had came up because I was talking to several individuals that were struggling with their sense of self-esteem, they're who they are and what it's okay to do and standing up for themselves. And one of the things that you will see when you're doing therapy is sometimes people come through and they have what's called low self-esteem or chronic low self-esteem. And that's a sense of who you are in the world, your place, and whether or not it's okay to say no, whether it's okay to stand up for something, with people in authority, a parent figure. And the reason why this had happened is the individual that the first topic had come up, the first part of the conversation was the idea of, what happened to me and how do I get in these situations where people may take advantage of me, or I feel like I just have to go along to please people. It also got into topics with several other clients about being in abusive relationships. It's not always the case, but in these cases, it was particular to female clients who had found themselves in situations where they had started dating someone and the person had ended up being very mean and abusive towards the middle to the end of the relationship before they was finally able to break it off. One common factor in this was dealing with their childhood and often being told by their parents, that you need to mind, you need to do what I tell you to do. And I don't mean that in the specific, like I told you, do the dishes. I mean in an everyday mode of thinking where they're constantly besieged with, do what I tell you to do because I'm the man, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, I can tell you what to do. I'm the boss. You need to mind. You need to do what you're told. You need to know your place. And then that combined with a sense of you're not good enough, that I'm going to withhold my love from you if you don't comply with what I want, if you don't do what I tell you to do. And this comes from both parents, the idea that if you don't do what you're being told to do, then you're a bad person and you need to learn to do what you're told. Or I'm going to, they'll say, well, I don't love you, or you don't love me. And, and shaming. A lot of times when I talk to clients, that this is a pattern of behavior that maybe their parents' parents and their parents' taught them that you can get compliance from somebody by shaming them, making them feel bad. Don't you feel bad for not doing that? And I won't be here one day. And won't you feel sorry because you didn't do that? Where does that often lead to? Many times when you're told these kinds of things, then later on in life, when you feel like you're not getting the kind of love and attention that you would normally expect to have in a loving household from your parents, you're sort of a prime target for somebody to come along and take advantage of you. Someone who's looking for someone who's willing to knuckle under, someone who's eager to please other people, someone who's not getting that attention at home, or someone who's so used to being ordered around that they feel that's the nature of the world. So then what happens? That person love bombs them. And when I mean love bomb, they give them everything. They buy them things, they buy them presents, they give them attention, they make them feel special. And then the abuse starts, slow and sure. They match pace with the way the parents would often treat the child, telling them, well, this isn't good enough. And, if you really loved me, you'd do this. And, if you wanted, you don't deserve a parent like me, or you don't deserve a boyfriend like me. And they literally match the parent's pace when it comes to getting the child into a position where now as a young adult and the child both feel the only way they're going to get their love in the world is to comply with an abusive partner. or they feel there's no way out, or they just think this is the way of the world. My whole life, I've had somebody bigger than me tell me what to do, and I had to comply or I would get hurt. And again, if you're using physical punishments on a child, at some point, the child will get to the point where they may think physical punishments are just the norm. And they're willing to put up with that from adults. They're willing to put that up with that from other adults. They're willing to put up with that from their partners. I have caught people, not in the therapy room, but actually in the outside world, telling their kids things, like, you do what I say or I'm going to spank you, or, they'll come in, the child will come in and go, oh, hey, this hurts, or, my brothers did this to me or whatever. And the father will, pop them on the head or look at them, and tell them, hey, you don't know what pain is. I'll teach you. If you don't behave, this is what really hurts, and you don't know what you're talking about. And you haven't learned how bad it is. And, and then they get angry when their child doesn't 100% comply. And I usually look at them and I'm like, interesting. So you feel that your child should comply because you're bigger, you're stronger, you're telling them what to do. I take it you want your daughter to be that way when she's in the backseat of some car with some bigger, stronger, older boy. That because he's bigger, stronger, and older, she should comply and just do whatever he tells her to do. Is that what you want for your daughter? Well, if not, you need to teach your daughters and your sons to be strong, to make good judgment calls, to not comply because they're scared of getting hurt, to actually think about what's going on, why they need to do things, what's the importance of what's going on in their life, and not just blindly comply with the orders that they're given. Raising strong, independent children will lead to children with a happier overall life. Less misery, less suffering, less problems to overcome. They'll be able to make decisions about what they want and about what they should do with their life, and not just comply and do what they're told to do by any authority figure in their life. It's my thought that you would wish that your children grow up with the ability to make good decisions and stand up for themselves and not knuckle under when they're threatened. So something to think about. You may not like it, but everybody makes mistakes. Review it. Go over it in your mind. See what you really think about it. Hope y'all have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you later.